Hi there, my name is Toby, and on this channel I hope to share some new ideas about the human body. Some new ideas about how the body works and how to optimize the body for maximum efficiency. How can we get the most out of it for the least amount of work? And I've discovered this requires a particular type of training. I'm training something very different and very interesting. I'm doing things you might recognize as exercises, but they're not really what I'm doing. What I'm doing is an internal practice, an internal control of my body's alignment, my body's bone structure, and I'm also carefully controlling tension and relaxation for maximum efficiency. How can I move easily and fluidly with less and less effort? Now in this video I'm going to be starting on breathing, and breathing of course is very important. So I call this training body efficiency training, and this is exercise number 4, structural breathing, and this is the beginner level. Now the first thing we need to do is hold a better posture. So here, from a bad posture hunching forward, I've got to lift up my spine, carefully stretch it up, lift up the shoulders, lift up the rib cage, pull in the belly a little bit, pull in the obliques at the sides a little bit, so you can see my waistline is shrinking down, the rib cage is expanding a little bit, so again once more from down to up, and I'm breathing deeply into the rib cage, and in particular the back of the ribs. I'm not flaring the ribs out too much in the front. The expansion has got to go to the back. And this is where the deepest part of the lungs are. It's right down deep at the back of the rib cage in the lower back, and I'm trying to breathe right down to there. This is where we'll get the deepest possible breath, and this is known about. For example, in hospital with breathing conditions, they will lie the patient on the front on their belly so that they can breathe deeply into the lower back. So this is the exercise here that I'm doing. I'm essentially holding up my spine in a better posture. I'm holding up the frame, so dancers will understand that. I'm holding up the rib cage, the shoulders, lifting up the elbows and stretching a little bit back. So this is really opening up the spine. I'm keeping the spine in a neutral position. There's a little backwards arch. My pelvis is tilted slightly back like I'm sitting on a chair. I'm holding the belly in, holding the obliques in, so there's a bit of tension in the waistline, and I'm trying to breathe in and out right deep down to the back of the ribs. I'm trying to feel an expansion left and right in the back of my rib cage. And this breathing creates movement. It creates a movement inside the body. I'm moving my rib cage with the breathing, expanding my ribs so they're mobilizing, and this expansion goes out into the shoulders, out into the spine, down even to the hips. So this movement with the breath is connecting the breath to the structure. So this is why I call this structural breathing. I'm not just breathing with the lungs. I'm trying to breathe with the spine and the entire body structure. So every time I inhale, I feel an expansion through my whole structure, and every time I exhale, I allow the structure to relax, collapse in a little bit. So I'm breathing not just with the lungs, I'm breathing with the spine, the shoulders, the hips, and the entire body structure. And now I'm doing the exercise with a little twist. So I inhale to the middle, feel an expansion, and exhale as I twist a little bit to the sides. Now the exhale is important. When I exhale, I concentrate on pulling the belly in. I'm pulling the navel towards the spine to help me squeeze the air out. So when I inhale, I'm still keeping the belly in, because I don't want the belly to come out. I want the expansion to go to the back of the ribs. So it requires a bit of tension in the belly to prevent the belly going out too much. And if the belly can't go out, the only thing that can happen is the back of the ribs expand. So I'm trying to feel that expansion in the back as I inhale, and then contract by pulling in the belly as I exhale and twisting a little bit to help squeeze out the last of the air. Now to really get the hang of the breathing, we're going to try this lying down on the floor. So just lie down and stretch out left and right, get a nice feeling in the spine, then bring your legs up and wobble your hips left and right just to loosen up the lower spine. Feel the spine getting in a nice alignment, the hips and the shoulders relax. You want a gap here under your lumbar spine. So you're lying down with a good alignment, and because you're on the floor, you can relax a bit and you know your alignment is good. So it takes that pressure off and we can just concentrate on breathing. And then try this little movement here. You breathe, as you breathe in, you pull your shoulders up and back and push your rib cage into the ground, and breathe out a little bit as you extend the arms, but keep your shoulders pushing back. So you'll feel a bit of tension build up as you exhale. So this is just feeling the movement in the rib cage and the shoulders with a little bit of breathing, feeling the breath connect to the shoulders. And now we're going to breathe into the belly, but we're not doing the abdominal expansion as most people talk about in belly breathing. I'm doing abdominal contraction. I'm trying to squeeze out all the air. So on the exhale, I'm pulling the navel to the spine, squeezing out all the air, trying to get out every last drop of air from my lungs, and the hands just help by pushing in a little bit. So you'll find to get the last bit of air out, you really got to pull your belly in. So that's the first thing that collapses, and then even the rib cage collapses. You try and squeeze out every last drop of air. And what happens then? Once that last drop of air is out, when you breathe in, you've got a new, fresh lungful of air. If you think about it, we never really breathe out fully. So you're always breathing new air on top of old air. You're never really getting a clean lungful of air. This is the only way you can get a genuine new lungful of air. This will increase the quality of your breathing just like that, because you're squeezing out all the carbon dioxide and all the old air. And I'm just lifting the hands up to the solar plexus and now the chest, and I'm trying to use the hands just to help the contraction. But the contraction on the exhale comes from the navel first. You've got to pull in the TA muscle right deep down from the groin to the navel to the solar plexus and then to the chest, and collapse it all down as you exhale. And then you see the inhale will be a relaxation. Because you've squeezed out all the air, your body's tense, and then when you relax, the air just gets sucked in. So this is about creating a natural suction of air. And now I'm doing the same thing but lying on my front. So the floor is pushing into my rib cage and helping me to collapse the rib cage on the exhale. So I'm using my body weight to help me exhale. And the inhale, again, because my chest and my belly are down, this is helping me keep them in for the inhale. So I'm trying to get the inhale deep into the back of the ribs, right deep down towards the kidneys. And if you watch here carefully, you can see my lower back expanding, my ribs expanding right at the lower back, or mid back to lower back. You can see carefully how I'm doing it. But the key is on the exhale. I've got to squeeze out all the air. Pull in the navel towards the spine on the exhale. Keep that going, pull in the chest, collapse everything and squeeze out every last drop of air. And then on the inhale, I'm trying to suck the air deep down to the lower back into the rib cage towards the kidneys. And then you can try this in a different way. You can mobilize the spine a little bit. On the exhale, I'm squeezing in, pulling in the belly, pulling in the obliques, even collapsing the rib cage and hunching slightly forward, trying to get out every last drop of air. And on the inhale, it just sucks in naturally, and I'm trying to get that suction right deep down to the lower back, expanding left and right in the ribs. And it's the intercostal muscles on the inhale. You can actually gain control of the rib cage and try and activate the rib cage, the intercostal muscles, try and directly expand the rib cage to help the air go in. Now do be careful, this is a very powerful exercise. You can get a head rush because you are affecting the pressure in your chest, and this will affect your blood pressure and your heart. So if you have problems, you've got to be very careful. Try the lying down breathing first on your front and your back. Just get the feeling of it and gradually squeeze out more and more air. But do this slowly and carefully. Okay, I hope this made sense. I'm going to be talking more about this in greater detail in the intermediate and advanced levels. And also, I've done this video without music. Someone commented they didn't like the music. So please do let me know in the comments. Do you prefer these videos with music or without music? I'll be very grateful. And of course, I'll do whichever one you guys prefer. Okay, check out these other videos here on the spinal twist, which is essentially the same exercise, but we're doing it now concentrating on the breath. Okay, thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you next time.